unit there, and where the whole old place, the old house is located and stuff. That was just his wishes, you know. I just asked him for support for that.
Condolences to you. Your dad and your grandpa was a really, really good man. I might not look like it now, but at one time I used to ride bucket horses. And old Pete Longbreak, you don't know how many young people that he helped and would give advice and took the time behind the chutes to tell you how to do it right. You got to do this. He'd get grumpy. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to give this much horse this rain. But I'm here to tell you today that I'm going to make a motion that Jay be on the automatic list. It's neither one of your faults that your dad and your grandpa passed away, and I would hope council would see that and not put this on the open allocation to give it back to you today. And I'll make that motion. If I get support or not, I don't know, but I am going to make that motion because it's the right thing to do. Thank you, Chairman.
Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Good morning.
On the loss of your grandpa and your dad. I read an article about him recently, and it was and I don't remember which magazine, but it was really a well-written and very thoughtful article about his life, you know, and talked about he was not accepted in the white world because he had him. And he wasn't accepted in the Indian world because he didn't have enough Indian blood. And so he just called himself a cowboy. Yeah. And I thought, you know, that's pretty neat. Anyway, you know, for him to have that worldview. But he also talked about, you know, that home place down there and living his life. Anyway, it was a real nice article that, and of course, I also know him through Faye, you know, and then through Mona. So anyway, I just want to tell you that I too, like Mr. Russo, you know, things like this, when there's extenuating circumstances and the original permittee passes, you know, that we should have a process, or it should be written, and maybe that's what needs to be amended in our code, so that, you know, there's no added stress to you, you know, that, oh gosh, am I going to lose this, and so forth. So anyway, I just want to say that I'm going to support this too. So thank you for coming in, and it's nice to meet you, Jay and Bud.
Thank you.
Mr. Russo.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming, and also offer my condolences. So this is a, you know, undue hardship that we're creating, and it's Ordinance 71, and it's our inability to really look out for them, the members, and that goes back to that what I mentioned before of how, you know, we're so scarce on our land resource, and we're not effectively out there buying land that's coming up for sale, and offering our members, you know, more. And the conflict of interest of tribal council representatives sitting on this body, because we have the inability to think outside of the individual capacity as an operator. And when we need to be up here thinking, you know, from a macroeconomical standpoint, and watching how, you know, we can develop laws that help everyone prosper, but we're so just like selfish and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it causes this undue hardship on our other members that are experiencing, and even ourselves. You know, we're so hung up in this this point. So I'd like to see that we make an amendment to Ordinance 71 today, because I hear it all the time. We can amend it, right? But we just talk about it. We don't do it. So let's make an amendment today that in these situations, because we have several here, that they go out to, we make the amendments and they get continued automatic allocation. That way we don't have these issues in the next 5-year annual allocation period. Chairman LeBeau, when would be the time to make that motion? Would you allow a motion like that, or are you just gonna let us violate Ordinance 71 half a dozen times? Because I'd rather see that we make a learn from this, and let's change the ordinance to better suit our membership. You have an answer to that? Would you allow us to make that amendment today?
Yeah, that process has been outlined. You should know it by now, but the first step is to have a actual amendment, and then the council advertises it for 30 days for public comment, and it comes back to review any comments, and then the final action is approved to amend. And after that's done, that action's published for public notice for 30 days or something. That's the process to amend. Anyways, I have, if you're done, and I have Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Chairman, I was just gonna point out to Mr. Russo that you don't need an amendment. Read that paragraph at the bottom of the first page. Did you listen when I read it? It says tribal